Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. Right, so Winter of War week 4 is here, and as we already knew, the boss is Dani Moonstar. And if Absman was too hard for some and Hulkling and Nebula was necessarily not challenging enough, then I think Dani Moonstar is a perfect middle ground. I will be making separate video kind of analyzing the fight and my thoughts and opinions about it, but first, well, let's help you all get through it as well. So it's Dani Moonstar, and the nodes basically go there very simple. You can't see me. It means that you can't really parry much, basically more than twice, otherwise you're going to be faltering. Combo up means that you cannot really hit her block. True Lies means that True Focus will not help you. Prowess Puncture will deal you more block damage, but the entire point of the fight is here. Special 1 lock, Special 2 bias, and Power Focus 2. The entire design of the fight effectively is very, very straightforward. You will have to deal with level 2. It's a very tough level 2, ton of damage in the block, and you will not be able to get through this fight just by baiting out level 1s. And also, obviously, parries limited, hits on the block are limited. So typically, so far in the series, I have posted solos of every single objective. This time around, I'm not necessarily going to do that. I'm still going to show you guys my favorite solo before we go any further, but then I'm going to try and do something better. I'm going to try and teach you guys how to do this fight and deal with level 2 and find alternate openings, because that is effectively what matters most here. This fight can be doable with just about any champion that fits the objectives and doesn't directly take damage from just desserts. You effectively cannot touch her buffs and passives, otherwise you can be taking a lot of damage back. It means no neutralizers, no Nimrods, or alike. But other than that, if you do not mess with her buffs and passives, you can just about use any champion and get this fight done once you actually learn it. So first things first, let's go to my favorite fight here. My personal solos, which I'm gonna leave a link to the stream where you can find all of them, were with Guillotine 2099, White Tiger, Nightcrawler, and then Deathless Guillotine. So those are the 4 champions that I used in order to get all the objectives. All of the solos I did eventually get, but what is super cool is because there was a natural progression of this fight. Now, you can play White Tiger in a way where you do not let her use a single special attack. But I found it easier and less tedious to actually just let her use that special attack, because you can actually learn how to wait it quite well. And that is also why I quite like this fight. Naturally, the first objective that I completed was Guillotine 2099, where I literally just power drained her to no end and didn't let her use specials. Then with White Tiger, I limited her special use, but slowly started somehow throughout the fight learning how to deal with that special. And with Nightcrawler, I didn't have any power control. I had to learn how to avoid those special attacks, even if I had that avoid assist from Nightcrawler. And then getting the Guillotine, Deathless Guillotine objective done was 5 minutes of purely dexing and skilling through the level 2. So that was a very, very good way there. And here we're going to see that White Tiger just rinses this fight so much. This is rank 2 unboosted White Tiger. You can see that definitely having quite a bit of fun here. Consistently pushing her past 2 bars of power, not particularly focused whether she used that special or not. I will make a slight mistake somewhere along the way towards the end, but you can see that with 5 Furies, that White Tiger is doing quite a lot of damage. And if I didn't want her to use specials, here we made a slight mistake, hitting the block. We didn't get punished for it, luckily. Okay, so here I took some hits in the block because I started dexing too late. But for the most part, at this point, I feel quite confident awaiting that level 2. Because again, I did it for like 5 minutes straight with my Deathless Guillotine. Yeah, that's pretty much the fight. As you can see here, the Dani Moonstar is going down quite well. We are tackling the level 2 extremely well. She's gonna get wrecked, riggedy wrecked. Okay, so here I do make a mistake. I accidentally parried. You do need to wait out that falter, but that's not the biggest problem in the world. And unfortunately, my Furies do fall off here, but it's fine. We get her down below 15%, which allows us to get that power gain. as well. And now we're just gonna ham some specials and get the fight done. Right, so what I was talking about. Number one is you can do the same thing you do to domino in order to get openings. You don't have to parry. It can be a bit, taxing. You do need to practice it. Sometimes Dani kind of gets stuck in her loop where she doesn't necessarily want to attack you. But if she dashes in at you with a medium attack, you can dash out and punish her medium dash with a medium of your own. Quite an easy method how to get openings without having to parry. So definitely do practice that. And now we're going to need to take a look at the level 2. Now with the level 2, I will kind of like slow it down for you guys as well. The key is single dex when she pulls out the machine gun. Then after the first volley of bullets, you do want to dex again when she is on her knee, and then basically dex the third time. So it's 3 dexes, all of them somewhat spaced out. But the most important one is the beginning one. It again will take a little bit of practice. You do need to kind of take a look at that cue, because as she's pulling out her machine gun, that is the time you do the first dex before she has started shooting. And the rest you will kind of get with a bit of practice. So again, I'm showing that it's super easy to find those openings with just a dash back. And again, then start dexing when she points out machine gun, dex when she's getting on her knee, and then dex after a slight pause, basically when the second volley of bullets is gone. And that is pretty much the fight. Obviously, there's the human error. I'm not perfect at it, as we can see here. I get smacked by it now and then. But, when I got into it, when I got focused again, I waited probably like 20 of these in a row. It's not that hard of a special to dex. It definitely looks way harder than it is. So keep in mind that you can get alternate free openings. Again, dex when she's pulling out the machine gun, getting on the knee, and then after that, second volley, just have a slight pause. So again, we're going to slow down here, just so you guys can see that level 2. So she's pulling out her machine gun here in her special attack. So ignore the first bit of special attack. She shoots an arrow in the air, doesn't matter. She's pulling out, and as we can see, this is where dexterity triggers. Dexterity triggers when she's pulling out the machine gun. See? That is when you dex. So it's kind of like earlier than it might look even. So she's shooting this, and at this point is when you start swiping the finger. And you dex through this, and there's a slight pause. She's going on her knee, and you can see that second dexterity is already in action. You have plenty of time. Dexterity window is bigger than you think. But you can see that she finishes that shot there. She's going on her knee, and that's when you dex again. And then obviously the arrow. So we're going to go for it again. Slowly. Shoots an arrow in the air. Don't do anything, just wait. She's pulling out machine gun, and I'm dexing. Dexing once. Then she's getting on her knee, and that's when you dex again. And basically, after about the same pause, both of the pauses are about the same length. And then you can go in and safely punish it. And here is again the second thing where her dash can be easily punished by medium. So she's going to come in and dash at me. She dashes, she throws her medium, as you can see in this frame. And then you can dex it and punish it with your own medium. We're going to do it again here. So she's running in at me. In a second, she will. She doesn't want to run in at me. Catches me here. 1 second. We're going to find a different spot in the fight. So again, awaiting the level 2. Couple of hits. She runs in at me. We can see that you kind of dex slightly prematurely as she's throwing that medium. And then you can punish it with your own medium. The level 1 animation is quite slow. So that is basically the fight. Right, still, we can talk, obviously, about the best options. So, against Dani Moonstar, with size S control denial objective, the best champion, I'd say, is Guillotine 2099. Psylocke, Miles, Weir Vision, all of the other champions are capable as well. Claire, I have heard that she can do it, but you need to avoid her level 2. Magic takes damage for whatever reason, but those are basically the champions that I recommend. Guillotine 2099 being the best option. X Magica Mutant, I think Nightcrawler is probably the best option because he does have that evade assist. But other than that, you can just use about X Magica Mutant, well, basically any of them. Because at this point, you will be learning how to deal with her level 2. I've heard Havoc is great. I've heard people do it with Sunspot and Toad and Storm X. But this is where you will kind of need to learn how to deal with her level 2. There is another option that I didn't show, where you can block the first bullet and then dex out of the other ones. That, however, will probably lead to a revive usage. And it is much better if you do learn how to deal with that special attack completely. But you can block the first bullet and then dex out of the rest of the special. It still works fine. You're just going to be taking much more chip damage. And then for Mighty Avengers, well, there's very few Mighty Avengers in the game to begin with. White Tiger is definitely the best. Photon works just great. Cap Sam should be fine as well. And then obviously, Deathless Guillotine for Deathless Guillotine objective. Now, once again, I do hope that this video has been helpful to you guys. I tried to, make it as educational in sense as possible. I'll be making another video with this fight where I discuss the breakdown and what I think about it more directly. But for now, I hope, again, you guys found this useful, and hit that like button on your way out. Bye-bye. Hello there, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about